Hi everyone, welcome to Joyce's Creative Corner. I'll jump straight into what's in your kit and what I have made. And wow, this is huge. Okay, so we're gonna start with just some plain browns color ones. What are the names? We've got Bark and Biscuit. Now, I have white paper here, however, I will be cutting the card bases with that. So what will happen is you get one page just plain white, so you can do your card base with that one. And then with the other two pages that are in the kit, I will cut this card base for you, because otherwise you need the dies to make it. Next, we have our paper. So we have these two sheets, which I made my cards with. And we have these two, which I made my scrapbooking with. Now, if you're a card maker and not a scrapbooker, you can make cards with all of them and vice versa. If you don't like making cards, just scrapbook. Now we have one photo mats, but I use them just as a normal pattern paper, fussy cut, and fussy cut. Finally, we have our flowers and stamens. So what I have made for class, we will be making our scrapbookers, making our double page layout, and our card makers. I have two very pretty cards with it. Now, as always, there will be a lot of leftovers, so I will show you what I have made with mine, but you will need a lot of your own products added to it. So start with this one. Look how gorgeous that came out. And with this one, I've used extra sentiments. I have used a wooden frame. Again, these are shop products that I had hanging around, and I just went and got all these out of the shop. So they will be available in store. Well, they're already available in store. I used some of the Uniquely Creative lace flowers. They come in all different types. I think the way I use there is roses, and what I have here is delicates. They both look beautiful in there. What else did we use? We used the big, these ones. They are called small berries, and I used the gold and the silver. I mixed them up. Now these ones came out of my stash. They are available in store, and we make them in store. Now, the flowers were the ones that we had for our kit. Now, this one, I don't know what it's called. I don't remember, because we have actually run out. So it will be an in-store product to come back in, but we're actually on back order quite a while now. The green leaf, that are our small flowers and greens. And they are again a product. And the keys, so the keys are a number of keys. They are $2.50, and I just popped them all over the cards. Now, I had a lot left over from previous projects, so mine are all the small ones, which are in there. And each packet it's a mixed key, metal keys, so each packet is slightly different. So if you do purchase these ones ever, they'll be slightly different. Okay, that's it. That's everything I used in this card. So next one that I made is this one. Again, I used some gold paper in here and the same products. It came out beautiful as well. And this one, you can see again there is a key there. This is actually the string that comes from the large wooden frame. There's so many products I could never remember all their names. And that's my fourth one. So I made 4 really oomphed up with a lot of embellishments and a lot of other things. The frame at the back there is the Little Miss cutting die number 1. So that's this one here, and it's just gorgeous. I used it quite a bit. Other things that I've used will be our pearls. I've used the Night Flourish Gateway die from Havell Creations. Now once these are gone, they have closed shop. And okay, so these are it for that lot. Then I kept going, of course. So what I did after is I still had some paper and bits and pieces left. So I got my girls out, and that's a fussy cut sheet, and I just kept crafting. And they came out really, really pretty. Now all I'm gonna do here is add our sentiment. In this one I backed with the brown paper and fussy cut it again, and then there was another one, this one here, I backed with the biscuit paper, the lighter brown, and then fussy cut it again. So that's the other 4. And then I had some leftovers, so I made a little card. They came out quite pretty as well, I think. And then I still had more leftovers, so I made another one. Very basic, not much to it, this one at all. And I still do have some bits left over, but not much. They're just strips and drabs. This is literally all I have left over of my kit. So I am very happy with that. So with the big flowers, if you're interested in doing the big flowers, those stamens are from Havell Creation, and they are the pastel pollen stamens. Now don't look at my prices here. Sometimes they're correct, but most of the times when you go online to check out, you actually get them at a lower price. I just haven't had a chance to rebatch the prices. Okay, I think that is everything I have done. I will put the video on how to do it. I will do my scrapbooking first, then my 2 cards, and then I will do a part 2 with these other, what is another 9 cards. And then we'll go from there. I'll see you back at the end. So I have gone ahead and I have done all my fussy cutting in here, but almost all of it. Got a couple of bits and pieces here, and I haven't cut that one or that one yet, so we'll put them aside. I have my 4 pieces of papers, and now I have to decide which papers I'm going to use for my scrapbooking. So I've picked the photos that I want to scrapbook, and I really, really, really like them. So we've got mom, dad, and Baba, and let's see which ones that will look nicer on, the lighter one or the darker one. So I have my 2 base papers ready. My one with the photo right way up, the one with the candles I've turned it upside down, putting the candles down. Then I have got my photo mats, and I already decided what photos I want, so I've cut everything to fit. And then I'll get my photos. Oops, then I went for the lighter ones on my photo mats. And then my photos. No, that one there. Not that it matters yet, they're not stuck down. There we go. Now, I'm gonna glue everything down, glue my photos on my photo mats. Before I do that, what I did is I picked the photos that I wanted. They were my 6x4 photos, and what I did is I started with my larger mat at 6x4, then I made my second mat 1/4 inch smaller, and then I cut my photo to fit on there so that we have a nice border all the way around. So I'll go ahead and glue my photos to my photo mats, and I'll come back. So my photos are all matted, and I loved how those colors come together. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get a piece of really thick cardstock type of thing. I use the backing of papers. You know, anytime you buy a die or a paper or a stamp, you get some kind of backing from the company. So I'm just going to pop them at the back just to raise them a bit so I can tuck things in later on. Now they're all done. I've already stuck these down, and I'm about to glue these ones down. somewhere around here. And 1 and 2. Okay. Next, I'm just gonna go ahead and decorate it so I can get rid of these and I can get rid of that. So I've done all my fussy cutting. There's a lot of fussy cutting. And it just depends on what you want to use and if you want your page to be flat or if you want it to be a little bit raised. I'm going to shape a couple of these flowers. Just give it a little shape. Now if you fussy cut it and you're like me and left a little bit of a white border, what you can do is get yourself a brush with some brown paint and just color it in a little bit. I'm not too fast with that white border. It gives it a nice look for the flowers. So I'm thinking something like this. So I'll just play around with it and then see what I can come up with. So I do have enough embellishments that I can keep on going. However, I think this is pretty perfect. If I get rid of those little bits and pieces. Now we could go ahead and get some little pieces and pop them aside and embellish it a little bit more, but I'm not going to. I think that is perfect just the way it is. I do have lots of bits and pieces left over, but that's it. So this is it for our scrapbooking. Let's see what we can come up with our cards. So I've gone ahead and cut my card base, and then I've cut one more to place on top. That way it gives it a finished look. Otherwise it will look like that, that is fine, but I wanted to finish it. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get a piece of scrap paper and I'm going to ink around my die cut with Acorn, which is a really dark brown. That's come out quite nice. That will go on top, and then that will go on top of that. So I quite like how it's coming out, so I'm going to go ahead and glue it down. Give you a quick show. So this is my fussy cutting sheet, as well as all the others, of course. So, but in this card, I want to use that and that to start off. So what I have done is I have fussy cut around it. So it's a nice arch, and I have inked it just slightly with the brown. And then what I have done is I have cut that into an arch. So, and all I'm going to do is give it a little bit of a browning, very, very lightly, not like the other ones that we've done. And that will go there quite nicely. So I'm gonna go and get my foam tape or whatever I want to use to raise it up. Okay, so I've got some cardboard at the back because I like using my cardboard. It's the same thickness as my foam tape, and for my foam tape I use it on my smaller products, but on a large area like this I like a lot of coverage. So that one will go about there. Beautiful. Okay, and then I get some of my fussy cutting that I am thinking about using today. About there. It just needs a little bit of a curve, and you can use anything. Like you saw me, I was using scissors. You can use a shaping ball. You can use a scorer. Just give it a little bit of a shape, and then you push in where there's supposed to be a separation. So that way they are little rises and falls. So I quite like that, and it stands up like that. Really nice. It's got a little bit of dimension, but it's not too bad at all. You'll easily fit in a card to be sent. And then your sentiments. I'm thinking something like congratulations. So as normal, I won't be putting sentiments on mine. Okay, so to glitter this card, I am not going to put too much glitter on it, and I haven't got a sentiment yet, so I'll be putting a sentiment across here when I decide who to give it to. But in the meantime, I'm just going to put a couple of drops of glitter here and there. See how that looks. Now don't believe him. If you can hear Tintin, he's already been fed. He is really not hungry. But okay, that looks pretty good. And the last thing I want to do is put a couple of pearls down. Okay, I think I quite like that. I'm gonna leave it to dry. So my flowers for today are another one of my designs, and they're actually really large flowers. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna color them, but I might or might not use them. I haven't done my cards yet, so we'll see. So what I've done is I'm just gonna separate them. There we go. So there's three sections. There's the petals, there's the insides, and there is the leaves. So I've got a little bit of white cardstock, just some scrap, and I've got a number of yellow to browny colors. So I've got my darkest is Acorn, Goldenrod, Monash Orange, that's quite bright, Orange Blossom, Coffee, Pebble Beach, and Sepia. So with this, I'm going to try and get those colors that belong in the collection. So let's see what I can come up with. So that's my goldenrod. This one is Orange Blossom. So I'm trying to match those colors as best as I can. To shape our flowers, I'm gonna get the back of the flower and I'm gonna press in slightly. Now, if you have a shaping mold, that will take a lot of work away from you. You can just chuck them in your shaping mold and they're done. But I'm going to do it by hand, so that way for those that don't have shaping molds, they can see what I'm doing. Oops, that's fallen over, no worries, we'll glue it back. Now, if you don't want your paper to break as much as mine is, just give it a small spritz of water and that will help keep it in, it will mold without breaking. I haven't spritzed it enough. There we go. Let's pop these away. I will actually need these. I'm going to get my pokey tool, which you can use anything that's got a prickly. I've also got my golf shaping tools, which will be good for it as well. Either or, it doesn't matter. Whatever you have in your stash that you can use. So I've got my little stamens here. So I'm gonna get my first one. I'll get my little stamens. And this is going to be the hardest thing. You gotta thread them in there. Oh, look, mine just went straight in. Now I'm finding them a little bit too stark white, but once we put the glitter on, they will come out quite nice, I think. If you don't like them white, just color them. You can easily get your brushes that we were using earlier and give them a little bit of color to remove that stark white. Okay, so next one. I think that one is way too small to go in there, so I'm gonna use my golf tool to make that hole bigger. And actually that will be quite good as it is. I don't think it needs any more. Cool. So we've got another one here. See if they fit. Perfect. So let's get them glued in and make our, oh, we need leaves. We haven't done our leaves yet. So to cut our leaves, I'm gonna use olive and fern green because they're very dark greens and this collection takes dark colors. So make sure you're in screen. And I've got my olive green and my fern green. They're both very dark, so I'm gonna just start from the top and work my way down. And at the back, I'm just gonna give it a little bit of coloring so they don't look stark white again. So that's my leaves. Now I'll do something similar with this one. Cool. very much all one colour. So I'm going to try and you have very dark greens, so that way it's different of greens. And then everyone else in class I use a lot. So down around a little bit. So my card base is 8 1/4 by 8 1/8. 8 1/4 by 8 1/8. And then on the 8 1/4, which is the long side, we're gonna fold it in half. So we're gonna have 4 1/8 by 8 1/8. So just to make sure, it is 4 1/8 by 8 1/8. Okay, using it this way. So I want a nice long card. So I will probably go 4 by 8. So that is my 4 inches by 8 inches. That down right now. Actually, before I glue it down, I'm going to distress my edges. There we go. And then this one's going to be a very simple card. I'm going to go and get my flowers. And I'm going to add them around here. I think that looks fantastic. Wait for it to dry. I'm gonna glitter it, and this one is done. So we'll move on to the next card. Okay, so this is now cool enough, dry enough to glitter. So with my glitter, all I'm going to do is pop some on my sponge. Tintin, I shall feed you in a second. Can you wait while I glitter my card? Let's see if he waits. He's not very well trained. He's got me extremely well trained. Okay, let's see. So I have put some glitter on my words, and that covers the words. So I'm gonna clean it up a little. There we go. And I'm going to pop a little bit of glitter up here, just a touch, so that it matches the rest of the card. A tiny little bit here. And then the flowers again down the bottom. little bit down here. Okay, I quite like how that came out. Get rid of all the strings. I like my stamens to have a little bit more glitter. So if I find my glue tip, I can actually pop some nice big chunks of glue on there. And that will make sure that you get lots of glitter on them. And I'm going to do the same with the ones at the top here. Yes, bub. 2 more seconds. I'm almost done. I know. You're starving. That's why the vet says you're fat and you should be on a diet. Okay, so I'm quite happy with that. I'll leave it to dry. So these are 2 cards for class. I will go ahead and put my sentiment later on, and they're pretty much finished. They're all dry and ready to be put away. I do have quite a bit of leftovers, so I'm going to go ahead and continue crafting. Now from this point forward, you might not have the products that I will be using. Okay, first thing I've done is finish coloring all my flowers. So I've done all of them since they are in my kit. And I do have leaves left over and other bits and pieces. So I'm gonna go ahead and make a couple of cards, and then I'll decorate them with the flowers I have left over. So that's another piece of 300 GSM cardstock, and I'm going to quickly score and cut these. Now okay, so I've just got a plain one, and that goes on top of it. Oops, just got some glue on there. One of these in gold. What I have decided to do is use the inside of this one, which is the next layer. So we are pretty much using this die all the way through, and I'm going to cut this and put it through my machine. So I'm just going to cut it very close to there. So once I put it through, this is how it comes out. So what I'm going to do next is, I can see where my die has marked it, so I'm going to cut it gently. And this one goes, oops, that's the bell, so that goes there, and that one goes there. What I want to do is, I want to raise these slightly, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut 2 more of these in just plain white paper. So I have cut 2 of each, and I'm just going to glue them down now. Okay, so I have my 3 layers and I have my 2 basics. So what I'm going to do is work out where I want it, which will go right there, and I'm going to pop that one in because that's how it came out, right in there. And I'm going to pop some glue. Again, work out where I want it and drop it down. Okay, perfect. And then, like always, we just clean up that little bit of glue there. And the glue eraser works very well. Where's my bells? That one goes there, so I'm going to pop that in next. That will be our next layer. Now that fits perfectly right next to it. That one there. And the last one will go down here. Look at that. That actually looks very, very pretty. Okay, let's see if I can do this. So with this little what do we want to call it, frame, there you go, it's a wooden frame. I'm just gonna pop it out and we're gonna give it a quick paint over. I'm just gonna go for plain white. Okay, so that's nice and dry now. I'll pop it aside and get on with the next part of the cards. Okay, with this one we've got left over, I'm going to use that in there, so that will fit in there. Next, I want pop this away to be dry and clean the table. So next I'm going to use down here and I'm going to make a 5 by 7 and that one will go right on there. Okay. So the splatter is not dark enough for me, so I'm going to go around and I'm going to use one of these Montmartre Flexi Tip acrylic paints. They are, I'll quickly show you. So they just come in a box like this. Got a few colors in there. They're uninstalled product from Montmartre. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go around and make those splatter stand out. Because it looks like it has soaked into the paint a lot, into the paper a lot. They're very soft tip. I forgot to start the camera, so I'm gonna put some of these little bling bling on. That actually finishes that card quite well, and I love those little white flowers. So I've got plenty of those little white flowers. If you have purchased one of our kits before, you probably find that those flowers will be in there. And that's it. So all it needs is a little bit of glitter. So this card was quite easy to make. So I've just made my card base, which was a 7x5 dark brown. It's 6 3/4 by 4 3/4. Then the lighter brown is 6.5 by 4.5. And then my pattern paper, it was top here of this one. I made it into a 6 1/4 by 4 1/4, and then I had my die cut in there. After that, I cut another piece from this die. So this is die I used. So I cut my gold in that one, and then my pattern paper on the inside there. And my flower, my last flower, other than my big one, which I'm gonna do something with that now. A few fussy cuts and some bling bling, and all it needs is some glitter, and I think this will be perfect. So I'll put it aside. I think I'm using the same die that we've used on the previous cards, not the insides, just the outside that I did the gold there. And I'm thinking about cutting it right here, my big flower down here, a few bling blings around that, and I think that will probably do. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut this and come back. So what I did is I cut a shape cut, then I cut a gold one to go on top of it, like that. And then I cut one of these with my pattern paper to go on top of that. So I'm gonna glue them and come back. So that looks really nice, and I've glued it all correctly. So I'm thinking that there, and a whole heap of embellishments around it. So what did you think of our little class? This is one of the biggest ones I've ever done. And I think it's because it takes all those little dribs and drabs to add them on. It takes a while. So that's it for today. If you like our video, please like, share, subscribe. It helps my channel grow. If you would like any of the products, they're all in-stock products. So just if you can't find them, give us a call or a text message and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. See you next time.